The Lord be with you.
and with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John.
Glory be to you, O Lord.
When Jesus had revealed himself to his disciples, they had finished breakfast. Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Feed my lambs. He said to him a second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Tend my sheep. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, Do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. Jesus said to him, Feed my sheep. Truly, truly, I say to you, when you were young, you used to dress yourself and walk wherever you wanted. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will dress you and carry you where you do not want to go. This is said to show by what kind of death he was to glorify God. And after saying this, he said to him, Follow me. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dear fathers, sisters, and my dear brothers, today's readings call each one of us to reflect and to seek and to hear and to do the permanent things than seeking and longing for temporary things. Why I say these things, why I take this theme is because of this. Acts of the Apostles, we see it is the history of early Christianity. It is the history of early Christianity, as well as it narrates, the entire book narrates of two great personalities. 1 to 12th chapter, it speaks about St. Peter. And from 13 to end of the Acts of the Apostles speaks about St. Peter. So it's about only two great apostles, St. Peter and St. Paul. And today's first reading is taken from Acts of the Apostles, chapter 25, where it tells about the death of St. Paul. St. Paul is in prison. And the gospel reading tells about how the St. Peter is going to be crucified. Jesus is asking him, do you love me? Do you love me thrice? And he says, Yes, Lord, I love you. How much you love me is till the crucifixion. Till I am crucified for you. That much I love you. Even St. Paul says, I am in prison. I am ready to be beheaded for you. I am ready to be beheaded for you. That's a strong statement. Strong lives of St. Peter and St. Paul gives each one of us to reflect upon. And today, each one of us are called to dare to live that kind of life of St. Peter and St. Paul. And Jesus is asking each one of us, do you love me? And each one of us to dare to say, I love you, Jesus, till I die, till I be martyred. That should be our conviction as Christians of today's context, my dear brethren and sisters. And what we learn from today's readings is this: seek the permanent things, not the temporary values. Why I say these things is because today's, in modern context, our parents and we as parents give to our children the temporary things, the temporary relaxation, the temporary pleasure. For example, when a child cries, you give phone, you give a mobile. The child is happy and he is at peace. And he is at peace. There is no worry when you give your mobile or when you give a phone to him, a phone to her. But what relaxation, what permanent thing that we need to give is the Lord. Tell about the Lord. Tell about the mercy of the Lord to your children that we forget. That is the permanent thing, permanent relaxation that we'll have in their own entire life. And today, you living in a city life, you order food in fraction of seconds. In a fraction of seconds, you get, and you teach your children how to get the food, how to get varieties of food. But do you tell your children how to receive the Eucharist? How to receive the Eucharist? How to love the Eucharist? That's the permanent thing which we need to give to our children. And each one of us are very proud that saying that I gave this to my child. I gave my property. I gave my jewelry. I gave such and such a thing, which are all temporary, my dear brothers and sisters. Give the Lord. Give the values of Christianity. Give the values of Christianity, which is permanent, which is everlasting, which is eternal. That should be our motive as Christians. That should be our actual goal of being a Christian. And today your mobiles will recognize you, Only when you put your password, only when you put your face, the mobile opens. The mobile recognizes you. But how many of you and me are able to recognize the Lord? Are able to recognize and come to the Lord? These people, St. Peter and St. Paul, it was just a fraction of second, just fraction of moment. They could change their entire life for the Lord. And thousands of masses, thousands of reflections, daily Holy Eucharist we receive. But how far it is changing our lives. How far we are longing for the permanent things. How far we are longing for the permanent values that Christianity gives as Catholics. Let us reflect. Let's reflect, my dear brothers and sisters. Let us follow. And as the Lord asks each one of us today, do you love me? Do you love me? The answer should be, yes, Lord. The immediate answer should be, yes, Lord, by us and even by our children. Then the good Lord will bless us as well as our families.